Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 VC review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Mega Man X2 on the SNES. I know I keep forgetting to do that on some of my newer vids, but it's one of those, there's that few VC games come out these days. It's not exactly hard to keep track of what ones they are and what consoles they're on. Quite frankly, I'm amazed that people actually having street parties and jubilee parties for when a VC game comes out. It's been that rare recently. But to be fair here recently, it started to pick up again, which is good. Today though, as I say, I'm going to be looking at Mega Man X2, which gives me so much joy. It's unbelievable. Not because it's a bad game, not because I'm disappointed in buying it or anything, which I am, I'll get to that later, but because of the fact that I really hate reviewing games that are almost identical to other games. I must have done close to 11 Mega Man games. In fact, this might be the 11th. All because mainly I said I promised to review all of my VC games, and then others came out. Things like the VC one on the Game Boy for the 3DS, things like the PSP one I wanted to review, things like the Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 on the PSN and that. And the reason I've pretty much got to the point where I absolutely hate reviewing them is nothing changes, and that's why they're so good games. Don't get me wrong, X series is a little bit different. For the most part, it's only a little bit different. It then got very different near the end when it started being 3D RPGs and that. But to explain some of the X differences, I'll just do a little bit of a, I suppose in the industry they would call it a cough break, because I do actually need to cough. So, coughing over. The reason the X games are a little bit different is because you can do things, well, I suppose like this immediately. I'm doing wall jumping and that. There's RPG elements with the fact that you can not so much level up, but you can get better as you go along. It's not just a case of defeating one of the masters and getting his weapon. There's other things you have to look for which will improve you, and once you get them all you can get the secret, which on the first game was a fireball. Ryu's Hadouken, if you wanted to call it the proper thing. On this one, if memory serves, it's Ken's Shoryuken, which is the Dragon Punch. But I'm a little bit hazy on that one. I don't know if that was one of the later ones. I'm pretty sure it's this one though. But anyway, you go amongst the levels, jumping left, right, up, down, going all over the place, where you eventually get to the boss, where you have to find out the weak points and what weapon works best on them and kick the crap out of them. And you do that through all the stages, of which you get this starter stage, then you get the 8 regular stages, then you get the X-Hunter stages, and you basically beat the game like that. You have to do a hell of a lot of the same stuff when you get to the later ones. Usually involves beating every single boss at one point or another that you've already beat. It's why gameplay wise the X series is probably better than the original series, at least for me personally. Not really much else left I can see other than that graphically this game is absolutely fantastic, and musically it's even better, so I will end on some music. But I did see that I was actually going that I was actually going to explain why I was disappointed with this purchase. Quite frankly, I've mentioned a lot over the years about how Europe and other such places get a bit screwed over with game releases. We never got the Mega Man Anniversary and the Mega Man X collection that was released on the GameCube. I recently came into a freeloader for the GameCube, so I've actually imported the games. Unfortunately, I imported those games after I'd bought this. About a week after I'd bought this. In fact, it might have only been 4 days, because that was when I found out of its existence. It's one of those things that I'm a bit gutted, because had I just waited 4 days, those 800 points that this cost me could have sat there waiting for something else to come out on the VC. Now my slate's at 0, and I'm going to have the game twice. So that's why I'm a little bit disappointed. Anyway, I know I haven't mentioned the options screen yet, so I suppose I should probably end with music and then mention anything important in the options, but I think the reason I haven't done it is it might just be sound effects and that on this one. I'll be honest, I've only been in the options once on this, so I'll have a think. Anyway, that was a bit of the music. I have checked the options. You can customise your controls. It's why I only went in once, because I saw them and I thought actually they work, they're right for me, so I left them. I suppose the other thing I could mention though is, and I've done this a couple of times recently, because I always assume that pretty much everyone's going to have played a lot of the older games in some way, shape or form, at least one of the Mega Mans or something like that. I do forget to mention some of the basics. The items that I mentioned that you can upgrade yourself with, you can get like better defense, you can get the ability to fly almost with an air dash, you can get arm parts which increase your charge shot, you can get something which helps you find items. You can also get, as I say, get that shuriken thing, which I'm positive it is this one. And it's just one of those things that you do have to be on the lookout for them, because there's not going to be one in every level, but at the same time, once you get one, you tend to be able to find the other because of an ability it gives you, like the air dash, like I mentioned. It's pretty much all that really X has that sets it apart from the original Mega Man, the ability to upgrade yourself, and also you can get into a mech, you can ride I think they call it a spin cycle on this, it's basically a motorbike, it's what you saw in the cutscene earlier on. Story-wise, this does have more story than the regular Mega Man games. It's again one of the few things that the X series sets itself apart with. But gameplay-wise, for the most part, it is just Mega Man. So if you're new to the X series and you're thinking, well, would I like them? If you like the original Mega Man games, you'll love these. As far as I'm concerned, the X games are better than the originals, but that's just me personally. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.